I'm a big, esports TV watcher now.
You're sort of a big proponent
Yeah,
of
oh
the
yeah.
ones that are watchable.
After watching the awful Heroes of the Dorm, then watching Evo, Street Fighter V, and I checked out the ELeague CS:GO finals on TBS.
So you actually found this enjoyable?
I did find it enjoyable, Ian. I'll tell you about it. So, the final was Virtus.pro, and they defeated Fnatic with an F. 5-on-5 CS:GO, CounterStrike, Global Offensive. It's not just for gambling; you actually play a game, and it's basically, I guess, the terrorists versus counter-terrorists, and you have to plant the bomb. That's the objective. That's how these teams go. So it's not just deathmatch. You know, if you do kill all five, you'll win. But if you plant the bomb, and you defend it or whatever, then you're fine. Anyway, so it was interesting because the commentating was very spot on about strategies, teams going to A points versus B points, because you can usually go to 2 different points to try to defend or attack on these maps. It was interesting to note they were like in between rounds, from my very limited counter strike experience, about purchasing weapons in between rounds and how that plays into it, making sure you don't drop an item for other team to pick up because it could be valuable to give to your teammate. Make sure you have enough money, maybe conserve it for one round to make sure the next round you have enough money to buy more powerful weapons, automatic weapons, or sniper rifle. There's a lot of strategy that goes into that portion that they did a good job explaining. But then also explaining, just the general strategies of waiting behind or calling out, where enemies were or where you're going to be. Obviously, you don't know what they're actually saying. The players, you don't hear that. The only thing you're watching what's called the observer stream, where it'll go back and forth between different players, their first-person perspective, and then every once in a while you'll see an overhead view of the map and all the players moving. But what's cool about the observer stream or observer view is that you can see where all the characters are. You can see like their silhouettes through walls and everything, so you know where the other players are. So you're not totally blind if you're watching from one person's first-person perspective, because if they're looking in a direction, you can kind of see where the other players are, teammates and not. That's the way to get around it. Otherwise, you need a split screen of like 10 different players, and that'd be impossible. That's also the limitation, though, is that when there's 10 players alive, or even 7 or 8, you kind of don't know what's going on. You're just following the action of one player for, say, 10, 12 seconds at a time, then someone will switch the camera to go to another player. And obviously, if you're killed off, it'll go to another player. So there are limitations to that, but the commentating, I thought, was very spot on. TBS did a great job talking about the experiences of these teams in the past, because it's an entire league. They follow a whole season of these teams playing against each other. It's not just one event like Evo, where that's it, go for it. So I guess they have a chance to hone their skills in terms of presenting this and commentating on it, and then knowing what the teams do or not. And plus, these are teams that have been around forever. I believe that the team that won Virtus.pro has been around for a long time. And I think one of the players has been around for maybe like over 10 years or so. It's on the team, I believe. So it was interesting.
So as someone who has always said you never liked CounterStrike, is this just kind of the example of like you don't have to like playing football to watch it?
Well, at the end of the day, it's a first-person shooter.
Right.
I mean, not that is CounterStrike Go that much different than regular CounterStrike?
From what I understand, no. But
not really?
I've never really played either of them.
Okay. Well, I didn't hate CounterStrike when I played it for whatever that was, that month period way back then. It just didn't. I didn't like it as much as playing, I guess, the quote-unquote more realistic games.
Which was what you liked, Rainbow Six?
Like Rainbow Six, Rogue Spear, stuff like that, where it's like, if you're going to go full realism, not be able to jump still 10, 12 feet in the air. It was a weird sort of middle ground of realism that CounterStrike tries to skate on that edge, and I just never liked it personally.
Was Rogue Spear that Blake Stone game?
Blake Stone, where you shoot off the guy and his leg falls up.
He
goes, Medic! No, Spear of Destiny was a sequel to Wolfenstein.
Yeah, Blake Stone and the Spear of Destiny.
Blake Stone was the guy in space, I thought.
Yeah, they did 2 of them.
Blake Stone was the guy in space.
I was just making a joke about
DJ
an awful
Blazkowicz still.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Spear of Destiny was a sequel, I thought.
Maybe. They're both awful.
You remember he's on the cover with shirtless, like...
Yeah, hiding me. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. Yes. Anyway, we got thrown off here. So the ratings came in, and it actually did pretty well. Not for the finals. This is, I think, before the finals. The previous one did 271,000 viewers across live and time-shifted viewing, which is actually not bad for esports. That was compared to the Evo Championships that did 201,000 earlier in the month. So that's a good chunk above. So I guess there's something to be said about. Again, I don't think this will ever catch on totally, but if it's going to happen, It's going to be fighting games or first-person shooters. I still think it's going to be that. And the Madden NFL Championship, I never actually saw that advertised, but that was on ESPN2 in June. I didn't even see that or hear about that, surprisingly. You think ESPN2 would probably push that maybe next year. So any thoughts, Ian? Would you ever want to sit down and watch one, or would you rather just watch the Twitch stream, which most people would probably want to watch?
No, I don't think I would watch a I would watch a first-person shooter out of curiosity. I just don't think it would hold my interest necessarily. Maybe one that I was actively involved in, like if they found a good way to allow people to spectate something like Overwatch. The sort of gameplay like CSGO doesn't really interest me.
I think Overwatch is coming up on ELeague. I believe I saw that.
Oh, then
So
I would probably watch that.
We're going to set something up for that, so there you go. You can watch it on TBS on that old-fashioned big boob tube.